Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video. Sorry if I cough a lot in this video, I'm still trying to get over the bug that I'm going through at the moment. But I had recently watched the very first Spider-Man movie that Tobey Maguire was in, which is just called Spider-Man. And I will do my best to get through this review. Coffee a lot, and with a sleeping cat on my lap right now, so we'll see how this goes. So, as the world most likely already knows, Peter Parker was just an average college student or high school student. He has this thing for his neighbor, Mary Jane Watson, or as I like refer to her in this movie as MJ a lot. Also, his best friend Harry Osborn has a thing for Mary Jane. So, they go to this field trip, and Peter's part of, like, I guess the photo, the yearbook committee or something like that. So he's trying to take pictures of stuff on the tour, which is like this spider exhibit. Was on this trip, he gets bit by a spider, and we established early on that Harry Osborn has been kicked out in like a lot of schools before going to Midtown High, and that Peter and Harry are like brothers, and that established that like I think it was like a little bit later in the movie, towards like in the third act, was when we really got to know that Mary Jane has been the Parkers, like the Watsons has been the Parkers neighbors for ever since like Peter Parker was 7. So Peter, after getting bit by the spider, has been going through some changes, and he can't explain it. Uncle Ben, he feels like Peter Parker is being distant. He feels like because something's bothering him. And Peter Parker's like 17, 18 in this movie. I think 18. But I know sometimes like kids can graduate when they're 17. Or like a year before that. Depends on like how fast they can advance in the academic area. So on a safe bet, I'm going to say at least 17. Because Peter Parker and the Midtown High students do graduate later on in this movie. So Peter Parker goes through some changes, and he gets in a fight with Flash Thomas, which is the school bully, who is also Mary Jane's boyfriend. And I gotta say, Mary Jane, I feel like in here, in this movie, goes through love interests as fast as people, like, go through a bag of snacks. Because she's dating Flash Thompson. And then not only does she date Flash Thompson, but at the graduation ceremony, she breaks up with Flash. And like shortly after breaking up with him, does she date Harry Osborn? They break up because later on in the movie they have a fight. Shortly after Mary Jane and Harry Osborn breaks up, Mary Jane says, "Oh, Peter, I love you. I know that we're at a cemetery right now," which I will get to it later. "But I'm still gonna kiss you." Like, dude, like, you just got out of one relationship, and you just jump back into another just to get out of it. Calm down a bit, woman. Like, I've been in a relationship where we moved fast a bit, but she's like moving way too fast. She's gonna get like a sexual disease or even pregnant with how fast she's been going in this movie, like from guy to guy. Like holy shit, okay. She's kind of a little bit of a player in this movie. But and she kisses Spider-Man. You know, Peter Parker and Spider-Man are two different people, but for argument's sake, she kissed. I'm going to separate them as two people. She pretty much made out with four different people. Two of them were off screen, two of them were on screen. I can assume that she made out with Harry Osborn and Flash Thomas off screen. Like, because we don't know everything that she was doing. Calm down, Mary Jane. Jeez. So, while this is going on, Norman Osborn has been having a challenge of keeping Oscorp on task, and some people at Oscorp kind of like are turning their backs on him, and Oscorp is being sold, and Norman Osborn is being pushed out, and Norman Osborn is pretty pissed in this movie, and I can see why he would be pissed in this case. But also, he's been dealing with a split personality, because he did this experiment that caused him to have a split personality. One side is Norman Osborn, the other side is the Green Goblin, which J. Jonah Jameson gives that name to him. To the Green Goblin, I mean. And so, this is parade. Because at this time, Peter Parker's already for taking pictures of himself in the Spider-Man's outfit. Oh! I'm going too fast. So, Uncle Ben, because Peter says, I didn't go to the library. Because that's a lie. He's really wanting to go to the wrestling match to earn some money to buy a car to impress Mary Jane. Now, he's at the age where he thinks material things will impress a girl. And there, to his credit, some girls or ladies and men at that fact do get turned on if you buy them physical items and get like big toys. In this case, the car, sure. But that was not going to end well if he was successful in that. Like, I'm going to turn 27 in next month, February. I know I've been through enough relationships. I had enough relationships crash. Whether it is me in a like dating that person or friendships that I was interested in that person. I learned a while ago. Sure, fight that other person's stuff. Sure, that could be cool at times. But be yourself. And Peter wasn't exactly being himself. He was being, hey, let me buy you something big to impress you. And so, goes to the wrestling match. He goes to this guy called Bonesaw. There's a case mask. And Peter wanted him to call the Human Spider. But it was a referee who has been in all three Spider-Man movies and was like the narrator voice for the Spider-Man games when Tobey Maguire was the Spider-Man. And to be fair, for me, Tobey Maguire will always be the Spider-Man. But Peter, like, that announcer guy calls him the Amazing Spider-Man, which, conveniently enough, after Spider-Man 3, that's the next version of the Spider-Man movies, is the Amazing Spider-Man. Convenient, right? So, Spider-Man goes into this case match. He wins. He gets $100. He leaves because the guy's kind of being deuced. Because like 3 minutes, like $300, I want to say, Correct me if I'm wrong. Or 3,000 for 3 minutes, and Peter Parker only had beat Bones on one, so he gets or two, so he gets $100. So Peter Parker goes. This guy robs the person that was screwing, that screwed up Peter. The guy runs past Peter. Peter just laughs at him, and the guy who was a douche to him not so long ago said, "What are you doing that for?" That guy's car. Excuse me. Jump quick. Right, I should get some water. But the guy was saying, "What did you do that for? You could have stopped him." And Peter said, "I failed to see the part where that's my problem." Using the same line that the guy used on him. Little did Peter know that would essentially become his problem later on. And when I mean later on, I mean like the scene right after this. Because Peter is just walking. It's nighttime. There's this crowd of people. Police cars. And I'm guessing ambulances as well. Or maybe the ambulances are on their way. I think the ambulances are on their way. Peter moves in the crowd. Because you know how New Yorkers are. Peter moves through the crowd. He realizes that they're circling around Ben Parker, Uncle Ben. Peter pushes his way through the police officers, asks what's happened, which we get a bit more knowledge of what transpired to, like, why Uncle Ben got shot and lay on the ground in, like, Spider-Man 3. But, essentially, bank robbery, Uncle Ben was, like, there, the people that robbed the bank needed a car, and Uncle Ben was there, waiting for Peter Parker. And Peter, and things went, like, bad for Ben Parker, and essentially that's how, he was on the floor laying down. And, in this movie, we're going to be under the impression that the guy that we saw robbing those wrestlers, the money guy from the wrestler, killed Uncle Ben. Peter Parker being upset, he goes out, going to his Spider-Man outfit, which is, this is not the official Spider-Man outfit. This is, like, he's just wearing, like, he's technically wearing the Spider-Man outfit, but this isn't the iconic Spider-Man outfit, if that makes sense. So, Peter Parker in his Spider-Man outfit hopes the cops find the guy, but really Peter Parker wants to kill the dude. And they have a fight, and the guy says, "Give me a chance, give me a chance." And Peter Parker says, "What about my uncle? Did you give him a chance? Did you?" And then Peter Parker, like, pushes the guy by the window, realizes it's the same guy as before. They, like, escape, and essentially Peter Parker, after being shoved a gun to his face, pushes the guy out of the window and kills him, essentially. And then they face the police, which I love the movie, but that right there, I felt like and things could have been different in the early 2000s a bit. But I felt like Peter Parker would have been on the most wanted list at this point. Because, like, they seen his face. Peter's face wasn't covered. So, the people that had the, like, flashlight on him could have easily have seen his face. So, I felt like the police officers could have easily ID'd Peter, go to the Parker house and question him. And Peter would have got, like, went to, like, prison or jail, whatever. So, like, I had to, like, ignore that, like, and I could be wrong, because, like I said, this was made, like, what, 21 years ago. So things could have been different 21 years ago than they are today. Because now today, oh yeah, he could have easily been identified like in a second. And if the police really wanted to, they could have arrested Peter. They wouldn't have cared that his uncle just died. They would have probably arrested him for killing a guy, criminal or not. Anyways, so Peter, goes to his house. Aunt May's there, and I never noticed before that he was verbally talking to May. And I guess I couldn't really like make out what the words were, but I guess because Aunt May, I guess like she was worried about Uncle Ben, but she didn't know his condition, and it was Peter who told May that Ben died, and then she just has this like big crying moment, which makes sense, and I guess that's what the conversation took place. I would very much like to know what words that were said, just to give me context on that little like 8-second bit. Because like I said, I never really noticed that Peter really verbally talked to May. I thought he was just like gave her the look, like without saying yeah, Uncle Ben's dead, without saying it. And so yeah, and so after that part, we go into the graduation, and Norman Osborn said, "Hey, if you ever need anything, I'm always here, because I'm aware that you are going through a hard time." And Harry also told Peter that they got the apartment, and we see Mary Jane break up with Flash Thompson. And then pretty much jump forward a little bit after like Norman Osborn was fired, and there was this parade. Norman Osborn takes the Green Goblin outfit, ruins the parade, kills the CEOs of Oscorp, and essentially this is the first encounter Spider-Man and the Green Goblin has with each other. I have to say, there's this one part where the Green Goblin's glider goes through this balloon, and this kid is just staring there like, huh? Like, I didn't get the face that he was scared. I thought he was just looking at the balloon like, cool. And I could be wrong about that, but if the kid was saying, cool, that was very, very stupid of him to stay still. I mean, I get he was a kid, but if that was like, if he thought that was cool, I thought that was like very, very stupid of the kid just to stay there. But Spider-Man rescued him, so thankfully, nothing bad happened to that kid. But still, it was stupid for that kid just to stand there. And Mary Jane's in danger. Harry Osborn's knocked out by a stone. Spider-Man saves Mary Jane. They have a little moment saying, "You know who I am. I'm just the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man." And he swings off. And essentially, Norman Osborn realizes that the experiment that happened earlier in the movie caused Norman to have a split personality, him and the Goblin. And essentially the Green Goblin goes to the Daily Bugle to try to find Spider-Man. Successful in that, essentially, because Peter Parker was there. He left just to go in his Spider-Man outfit. When Spider-Man gets knocked out, Green Goblin says, "No matter what you do for these people, no matter how many good deeds you have done for the people of New York, eventually they will hate you." And that's why me and you are not so different, Spider-Man. And then that was like essentially Green Goblin tries to have Spider-Man work together, make a proposal saying let's work together besides fighting. And this is fire. Spider-Man goes save some people. The last person that needed quote unquote saving was the Green Goblin, but that was a trap. And they get into a fight in the burning building, and then we get family dinner with Aunt May, Harry Osborn, Mary Jane Watson, Norman Osborn, and Leon Peter Parker. And Peter gives Aunt May sees the cut that Peter has, not knowing that Peter just got in a fight with essentially Norman. And Norman puts two and two together, he leaves, insults Mary Jane real loud. And Norman Osborn talks to the Goblin, saying, "It's Peter Parker. I don't know what to do. I don't want to hurt him." And Goblin says, "I don't give a damn. Attack his heart." Which his heart, Norman doesn't know that Peter has been in love with Mary Jane at this point. It's later. So Green Goblin goes to the Parker home. Pretty much makes Aunt May distraught and in the hospital. Peter puts two and two together that the Green Goblin knows who I am. Great. And so then Peter sees Mary Jane at the hospital. Mary Jane and Peter talk. They have a heart-to-heart moment. Harry Osborn walks in. Then he leaves to go to the Osborn mansion. Harry tells his father that Peter's been in love with Mary Jane for since pretty much forever, not knowing that he is putting Mary Jane in danger by telling his father that. So, Aunt May wakes up, going back to the hospital, wakes up, tells Peter, "I seen you guys talking even though I was supposed to be asleep." And everybody knows, with the exception of Mary Jane, just how much you are in love with her. You should tell her how you feel, because everybody knows. Then Peter Parker realizes everybody knows. That means the Goblin could know. Rushes to the phone, tries to call Mary Jane, goes to voicemail. Peter leaves a voicemail. In the middle of the voicemail, the phone picks up. Thinking that's Mary Jane, but was the Goblin saying, "Come out and play." Peter Parker goes to this bridge that has Mary Jane on it. The Green Goblin gives Peter Parker this ultimatum: save this cart box full of kids, or save Mary Jane, the love of his life. Which essentially, Spider-Man saves both. With the help of some New Yorkers that distracted Green Goblin. Then they go to this abandoned building. They have it out. They have one last Duke. Norman Osborn reveals in this battle that he is the Green Goblin. That you're like a son to me. Nah, you've always been a son to me. And then Peter Parker says, "I only had one father. His name was Ben Parker." And then the Goblin part of him takes off saying, "Godspeed, Spider-Man." The glider goes in. Spider-Man does his backflip, and the glider kills Norman Osborn. Which now with the looks that some of the looks like the Green Goblin has made, you can't say that there was this one look that Norman Osborn from No Way Home was coming back to his dimension to the exact point where he essentially died. And that's why he said, "Oh." some can make that connection. I can see why in this scenario, because you got like multiple shots of like Norman's face. So like Norman gets killed before Norman dies. Says, "Don't tell Harry." Go to back to the funeral part. Harry tells Peter, "I'm going to make Spider-Man pay. I'm going to kill him for what he's done to me, stealing my father away." Because Spider-Man took Norman's body back to the Osborn mansion, and Harry saw. Told him to get it out, and yeah, that's how we found out that Norman was dead. And so long story short, go to the cemetery. Harry swears vengeance on Spider-Man, and it's very appreciative of Peter Parker being his friend. And Mary Jane says, "Oh, I love you, Peter. When I was on that bridge, I thought of you." Makes out with Peter, and Peter wanted to tell Mary Jane so bad how he feels about, like, tells Mary Jane how he feels about her, but he doesn't. Say, "I can only be here as a friend." And then we see a shot of him going, like, away from Mary Jane, and it's pretty much Peter Parker reiterating what Uncle Ben said earlier, that with great power comes great responsibility. And then we see Peter Parker, like Spider-Man swinging around New York, and then credits. So it was cool to like watch this movie again. The Spider-Man trilogy is getting taken off Netflix on the 31st of this month. So I wanted to watch Spider-Man 1 because I only have Spider-Man 2 on DVD. I know I have the first one or the third one, so I really wanted to like rewatch Spider-Man before it left. Especially since like on Friday I did this video with iMain link in the bio if you guys want to watch that. In the description. Talking about how Tobey Maguire is up to being Spider-Man again. So yeah, it's but yeah, I made a post on Friday. Well, today, by the time I am recording this, the videos will be uploaded. Like Friday's today. I'll probably have this video out by Monday, the 30th. But it was really cool just going back and just reliving part of my childhood essentially, because Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is the very first Spider-Man that I've seen on the big screen. So for me, Tobey Maguire will always be the Spider-Man for me, because he's my first Spider-Man. Kind of like how Matt Smith will always be the Doctor for me, essentially. Even though the Doctor can regenerate. I'm making a Doctor Who reference. Because Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor, was my first Doctor. And while the 2003 Ninja Turtles show will always be the Ninja Turtle show for me, because I grew up on that first. Like, I watched that first. But, yeah, Tobey Maguire will always be the Spider-Man for me. And, like I said, it was just great having a chance to take a moment and just to sit and watch the movie again. It was great reliving my childhood. Anyways, what do you beautiful people think about Spider-Man 1? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. I will talk to you fellow mutants later. Later, taters.